Hello and welcome to Jurassic Reviews. On this episode we'll be taking a look at a new figure from X+. That figure is the Godzilla 1993 RIC exclusive. Before we begin, here's a look at the box it comes in, which is really cool as it shows off the shiny gold glitter that this figure has. You can also see the RIC sticker. It's also worth noting that this figure comes with two tail pieces that have to be connected, instead of just one. Besides my gigantic 2019, I think my 91 Sakai was the last one I got that required this. Now let's take a look at the sculpt. This figure is part of the 30cm line, so it stands about 13 inches tall and is about 18 inches long from head to tail. Let me just say right away that this figure is so much more impressive in person than in the pictures that I saw online. Early, badly lit photos, which of course never do these things justice, had me slightly worried, but now that I have it in hand I am quite relieved. This sculpt and the figure as a whole have met my expectations, and might have exceeded them. This Godzilla features plenty of detail on the body, showcasing his tree bark-like skin on his legs, arms, back, and tail. And there's some scaly texture found around the chest. The dorsal plates are also really well done. Basically what you'd expect from a Heisei X Plus Godzilla figure, so there's a nice bumpy texture on the inside of each plate. This figure features a long tail that doesn't require a tail stand, and the tail bends slightly off to the side and curves upwards. I know there was some discussion on whether the proportions were right on this figure, or whether it matches the initial promotional pictures, but for me personally, I don't really have any complaints. Maybe someone with a sharper eye for the Heisei design could find faults, but I don't really see any. Just looks like the Heisei Godzilla to me. Now let's move on to the head, which is probably my favorite part of the figure, mainly because he has these awesome huge eyes. I'll touch more on them when I get to the paint apps, but let's just say that even with all the glitter and gold that this figure has as its main selling point, I really think the eyes stand out the most. Other details on the head include the nose, ears, individually sculpted teeth, and his tongue. Now let's move to the paint. This figure from the get-go was polarizing, and remains that way because of both the gold paint and the glitter. I totally understand if this is not your thing, but for me it is. I loved all the old Bandais that had glitter, and in fact my favorite figure in my collection is the Bandai Hyper Hobby Glitter GMK Godzilla. So yeah, I'm a fan of glitter on Godzilla figures for some reason. The purpose of this glitter and the gold paint is to capture a brief but awesome scene in the film Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. In which Godzilla is resurrected by Rodan after being defeated by Mechagodzilla. During that scene, Godzilla becomes powered up, and there's a lot of gold and glitter looking material going around everywhere. It's a pretty amazing scene, and I think this figure captures the effect pretty well. This is another aspect that you really have to see in person to appreciate. Under the right lighting conditions, it really does shine and stand out. The glitter just doesn't really show up well in photos and video. The gold paint mostly just covers his legs, chest, arms, and dorsal plates, with the glitter being found pretty much everywhere but his face. I will point out one downside to the glitter, which quickly became apparent to me when I was putting on the tail. The glitter will fall off, so I'd recommend not handling this guy a ton. It's too bad they couldn't embed the glitter directly into the vinyl somehow. It's not a huge deal to me, but just something to be aware of if you plan on picking this one up. Underneath this gold glitter and paint is a really dark charcoal gray. It actually reminds me a lot of the Sakai Godzilla figures and how dark they are. The fingernails and toenails are painted a yellowish color that transitions to gray, displaying a nice gradient. The dorsal plates feature gold and dark gray on the inside of each plate, that changes to a light gray on the outside. Now let's move to the head. The area around the nose lacks any gold paint or glitter, using just the dark gray. As I said before, the eyes are awesome. They are painted orange and yellow with black pupils. I've seen pictures online with some derpy looking unaligned eyes, but I guess I lucked out because mine look pretty good. Inside the mouth, the teeth are painted white with a little bit of light brown, and the gums and tongue are painted red and black. Also, while reviewing this figure, I realized mine has a slight defect, in that one of the middle dorsal plates is leaning to the right. The dorsal plates move all over the place in the films, so it's not a huge deal, but it was a little disappointing. Before I give my rating for this figure, here's a comparison with other figures. Here it is with the Yuji Sakai Godzilla 1995. Here it is with the 30cm Godzilla 2014. Here it is with the Yuji Sakai Godzilla 1984. Here it is with the 30cm Mechagodzilla 2002. And finally, here it is with the 30cm Mechagodzilla 1993. For a rating out of 10, I give this one a 9. This figure, as I said before, may have exceeded my expectations. The sculpt combined with the awesome gold paint and glitter just really is well executed. I know that this is not going to be for everyone, at least the gold paint and glitter part, maybe even the sculpt. For me though, it works. The standard version got delayed until I think next month, and if the gold isn't your thing, I think that version should be just as awesome. I'll be reviewing that one too, so stay tuned. But yeah, I recommend this figure. And that does it for the X Plus Godzilla 1993 RIC exclusive. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.